What does it mean to fully commit into a relationship?
Well, it's just 100% commitment's a breeze and 99% commitment's a bitch, bro.
Yeah, I get that.
But
what does it actually mean in reality for you?
That's a really good
What
question.
does it look like to actually fully commit?
Well, that's a really good question.
What's the right way of commitment?
Yeah. Well, I'd say it would like the most easiest logical terms that like I think of would just be like
I think
presence and
understanding.
trust.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd say presence and trust.
So being present with your partner.
Yeah, and trust.
And then trusting them in terms of...
And proving your trust.
Communication.
Yeah. It's just trust in terms of, because everyone's got like fears, especially with relationships and stuff growing up as kids of like, either being cheated on or being left.
So
or
trusting monogamy?
Yeah, trust in monogamy for sure. And then trust that, if like with certain timelines, if someone's like, I want to have a baby right now, or someone's like, I don't want kids, or if someone's like, I'm going to move, to another country in like a year, like whether you're coming or not, it's like, like, well, what am I going to do? Because you start getting attached to future timelines. And if you're not aware of that and you haven't communicated those with your partner, when the things come up and you can't allow each other to express yourselves, then it's going to be like real difficult. Some people can do with long-term
really
relationships.
Open communication.
Yeah, some people can't. And then you can it's commit, and as well as knowing that the other person, that's what I mean with trust is so important. It's knowing that the other person is going to be committed to the cause. So you both have a goal of being together, but you both have certain dreams, certain goals and stuff. It's like, cool. How can we combine them and compromise without having anything like come in the way
you don't feel like a loser.
So you don't feel like a loser, but it's also just understanding, where you go, so you feel safe. Majority of times there's like an argument in any like relationship. It's frustration that you can't communicate what you're feeling. End of. It's never It's not so much frustration of the other person. You'll think it is, but it's because you just don't know how to communicate to that other person out of a fear of not being safe for whatever reason it is. Because you're vulnerable when you're attached. You're going to get really comfortable. Men got to get real comfortable with vulnerability. I said beforehand, men aren't as in touch with their feminine energy, and they should really embrace that as much as possible. Yeah. If they're not, and they don't know how to get like vulnerable, and they don't understand that invulnerability is power, then anytime some sort of tiff comes up, they're just going to withdraw or try to back away, and then she's going to be like,
This reminds me of the whole dark side and light side balancing of self, Yeah.
That's exactly it. And you can learn that in the relationship. Yeah. And so what I say was trust, and what was the other one I said?
So trust, open communication, being present.
Yeah, it's literally being present, man.
So when you say trust, is it because you were kind of defining open communication as, being clear with each other of what our intentions are about life. You know, whether it be, hey, this is my career path, or this is how I want to be treated, or those kind of things. So in terms of the trust element of that, what does that look like?
Integrity. So
trusting someone's word.
Yeah,
that they're being their word.
They have to. Because if, let's say, for example, you created all these plans, and then like your partner was like, oh yeah, we should do this, or I booked this in, or did this, and they just start doing completely different stuff, and you'd be like, well, how the hell am I going to trust them for all the other stuff that we've just planned out and stuff? I can't trust this person. They keep saying stuff. They're not doing and following through what they're going to say. Some things are always going to mess up because they're human, but like in general, all the big things. And if they can't do it, it's like...
What does restoration of integrity look like to you?
Oh man, that's a big one. Restoration of integrity, man. I don't think
like even those little things.
I don't think it should almost be like a thing. I think you should, get to the point where you're so integral within yourself that any time that there is a mess up that you have, it's just immediate forgiveness.
Yeah. But you obviously have to address it, right?
Yeah, well, you talk about it.
But what is that? Do you have like a formula of like how you go about addressing lacks of integrity?
See, that's really difficult in my way because I value integrity so much, like so much.
But if like you're like, hey, I'm going to be late to this appointment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's apologies, bro. If I'm late to the appointment, whatever, it's just, it's on me. I just have to apologize. That's it.
It's about being your word and accountability, you would say.
It is, yeah. Sorry. It's literally, it's it. It's apologizing, but understanding because like the other partner will be grumpy at you if it's...
Let me know what you think of this. So I've learned this method of
I'm excited.
Restoration of integrity, and it's a 3-part. So it's acknowledging what the broken agreement was, and like the main thing to keep in mind with integrity is that it's both insignificant and the most important thing ever. It's like butter. So when you talk about it, it's like butter. You go to the store, very insignificant which butter you choose, but it's very important for your meals, very important for your health. So you got to choose the right butter. But there's like an air of like, oh yeah, like insignificance in a powerful way. So acknowledging what the broken agreement is, acknowledging the impact of the broken agreement on the other party, on yourself. So acknowledging the impact, and then creating a new commitment, or putting in place, this is what I'm going to do so that doesn't happen again. So for example, if I'm late to an appointment, it says, hey, I'm late by like half an hour to this appointment. Obviously, I've wasted your time. You could have been doing other things, and now you don't trust that I'm going to be there on time. So in the future, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have this in my calendar, because what happened is it's not in my calendar. So I'm going to have it in my calendar, and I'm going to make sure I have a 30-minute reminder that I'll be there again.
Yeah, that's a real good way. In relationships, I'd add another one onto that, because that's super masculine. And I took it in terms of like, I just call it speaking feminine, is you want to label the emotion as well, especially for if you're having if you're a male and your partner is female.
But that'd be part of the impact it has on the other person, right?
Yeah, but you have to specifically label the emotion. Yeah. So as in hey, because you could acknowledge it, she may never ever hear it because you didn't speak feelings.
Because you didn't get her.
You didn't. You weren't listening. In quotations. You didn't hear in quotations. You weren't understanding.
Yes.
So you have to label. Firstly, you acknowledge whatever it is. So I say this a lot of time. I have like a formula. It's very similar to yours. Very similar, and it comes out of nonviolent communication. The book. It's just I call it the ACE format. ACE.
I gotta have this as a nonviolent direct action program.
Ooh,
it's cool.
I love that.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it's acknowledging, same thing as you did.
Yeah.
And then it's clarifying what you did, and then E is labeling the emotion, and specifically, and then decision is what are we doing from here, and then labeling the emotion in there is extremely important, because then they help understand it. So okay, so you're feeling, I've broken your trust, whatever it is, integrity. The emotion you're feeling right now is betrayed. Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling frustrated? If you're angry, like what's the emotion there? Oh, I'm feeling so frustrated about this. Be quiet. Let them. People, when they talk feelings, need to talk their feelings, and then explain the rest of the stuff. So I 100% agree.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
It's powerful, man.
Different. It is, man.
It's so different to, hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then nothing gets addressed.
Yeah. And if you just say, hey, I'm sorry, they're like, you didn't mean that.
Yeah. And in part of that acknowledging, what the impact on someone else is, obviously if they're a bigger deal, like for example, my friend, he cheated on his girlfriend this one time. I called him. I was like, oh, bro. This ain't it. This ain't it. We need to call your chick now. We need to call it. You know what I mean? You just lack integrity. I was like, don't feel morally bad about it. Like this ain't that. Are you still committed to your missus? He said, yeah. I was like, well, you have integrity to restore.
Yeah.
You're in a relationship. You have a commitment to monogamy.
Yeah, 100%.
And we did those steps, and he ended up having that relationship for another 2 years. It was wild. But the beautiful part of restoring integrity, especially with those bigger things, because sometimes you can kind of just get, oh, this is the impact on you, and it'll be cool because you would acknowledge your impact. But a big thing with a big thing is asking, what is the impact of this on you?
Oh, bro.
Right? Yeah, and like allowing someone and giving them the space and listening to actually like soak that in and acknowledge it and be with it as like a committed listener.
So the next step, presence.
Yeah. Presence. Bam. Back to presence. That's a good place.
That is. Yeah. Creating that up is, so important. And I think a lot of dudes as well, men in particular, like I love John Gray. He talks about this a lot. And he was just like, he used the example of his wife. When she got like
well researched, man.
A nail in her finger. He used this example. He's like, she got a nail in her finger. And she was like, went up to him, oh my God, I've got this nail in my finger. And he was like, well, pull it out. She's like, no, you're not hearing me. I've got this nail in my finger. It's making me do this, feeling sad about it. And he's like, pull it out. She was like, no, but I got to do this. So she just kept the nail in her finger because she needed to talk about how she was feeling about it before he pulled it out, because he just went straight to solution.
Yeah, which is such a dude thing to do. I had to learn that. And like in my teenage years, I was so like, solution. Yeah. Like, you never listen to me. Like, oh my God. I'm trying to solve your problems because I care about you.
Which is presence. And that's where the presence come in and you're talking about. But men find it really difficult to take that blame, because all we want to do is make our partners happy. Like that is, if we get home, we're doing whatever, we do something for them and they're happy, dude, your whole day has changed. You're like, yes, I am a stud. I am the hero. I am that guy. My lady's happy, man.
Yes.
But if you're in the position where she's not happy and she needs to tell you, same as to pull the nail out, she just needs to tell you about how she's feeling, and she needs to tell you because you're the only one around. It's like she's going to really quickly call someone. So you have to take the blame. And we're real bad at taking that. That's like negative magician energy. When they'll come in and like, we'll just try to take that blame and instead we push it off and no. And then we like give it back. And I still get guilty of this doing it myself, but like working on it like so hard. And yeah, it comes in. And then if you can go, okay, tell me more. How did I do that? How was I responsible? Whatever that was, let them talk through about it the whole time and listen intently and clarify that. And then go, okay, as a guy, I find this is a real good technique is like, I just need a couple minutes and let me like think about it. Then I'll get back to you on exactly what I need to say.
Like pride aside exercise.
Yeah, it is. It's full on. But the thing is, what I think is really important in there as a guy is if you're listening to that stuff and you're taking the blame and you're not sorry, and you take that second to go, let me think about this. Like before I say anything, like thank you for saying all that. I was present, asked you all the questions, you got it all out. Then you're gonna ask yourself like, are you actually sorry or not? Because if you're not sorry and you say you're sorry, you're gonna feel defeated and you're like not gonna respect yourself. That's not being integral to you.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing, right? You can acknowledge the impact that your actions have on someone else.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't mean you have to say like, I would change that. But you can acknowledge 100%. The impact.
And you can say whatever it is. Sometimes you can say, look, I understand how you feel. I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm not sorry about the situation.
Right. And that's a big thing, especially in work scenarios. I think that's, outside of relationship, that's a huge thing in work scenarios. Like